Hi, everyone. Welcome into another Wildcat Weekly Coaches Report here on the Linfield Sports Network. Joe Stewart with you. Head men's basketball coach Shanan Rosenberg is with me. And, Coach, just another congratulations here as, of course, Saturday night, you guys accomplished the first 20-win season since 2001 and the first share of the conference championship since 2001. And now we'll be hosting a playoff game on Thursday for the first time since 2010. Before we get into the hard basketball topics, could you just go through again what that night was like for you and your players emotionally?
Well, I mean, obviously, it was very rewarding, satisfying. I mean, I was really at peace, which is kind of an odd thing to think that you'd be exuberant and et cetera. But the peace was just from, I think our guys played so well on such a big stage, and it was such a breakthrough for our team and our program that it was a real deep sense of satisfaction that I would call peaceful. But just to share it with all of our guys and the whole team, and to see how, you know, the great love and adoration they have for each other, and to, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say validate anything, but certainly to achieve a benchmark of success like that, and also beyond that for the entire Linfield community. I mean, just the great fans we had, and all the people from the community that came out and supported us. It was just a fabulous environment. So to pull off a couple great wins, and along with the conference title, and under those conditions, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it was certainly an incredible night for anyone that was in the gym. It's going to be a night a lot of people here are going to remember for a really long time. But let's talk about that Whitworth game first, since Whitman, of course, coming to town on Thursday, so we'll get into that in a second. But the Pirates came out firing. They hit their first 5 shots. You guys were able to even it up throughout the half, and then ended up taking a 7-point lead into the break. And then for the second half, you guys were pretty much able to take care of business, got the lead to about 9 to 11 points for most of that second half, held Ben College to 0 for 4 shooting. What do you think the keys were to controlling that entire second frame of the game?
Well, I think we played well on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we shot the ball well. I mean, our percentages were fabulous. We rebounded about even with them, but I think it just our guys played to win. I think they played free. I think there was much less nerves on Saturday than Friday. Friday, I thought the nerves really affected us. But that's just what happens when you're trying to break down. There's a difference between teams that have won and have won championships, and those teams that have already kind of knocked that down. They tend to kind of just expect to win, and it doesn't impact them as much as the team is trying to break through. And so for us to get through that on Friday, I think Friday really took a lot of weight off our players, and Saturday they felt very free and confident, and it translated into our play. I don't know that we did anything schematically that was, you know, that pointed to that. I think it was more just our players' mentality, knowing that they were good enough to win, and believing in what we had to do.
Definitely. And in that game as well, obviously, the night before, the game against Whitman, and Whitworth was coming in rested. How impressed were you that your guys were able to dig deep and never look tired for a moment in that game?
Blown away, really. Especially considering the style of game Friday was. I didn't anticipate that, but that's the heart of a champion right there. I mean, those are guys that we never use that as an excuse. I mean, I mentioned it in, you know, kind of framing the game, but I never mentioned it in practice. And it just speaks to our guys and how much they believe in each other, and how much they're willing to go the distance for one another to compete for success. And, you know, it's really a credit to our players and their kind of mental and emotional toughness to, you know, overcome a circumstance like that and be at their best.
Definitely. Now, in that Whitman game, it was a game that saw you take a 15-point lead in the break. You led by as much as 21 in that second half before having to endure a near 7-minute scoreless stretch, only won the game by 3. What do you think it was that allowed Whitman to get back in that game?
Well, they're really good.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, first of all, they're really, really good and very capable. And, you know, it didn't surprise me at all. And, you know, I think that we almost were like in shock that we got up by 20. I mean, I think there was a little bit of that. But that's what happens when you're not quite sure if you can do it. Mm-hmm. But now that we've done it, you know, I think we should be in a much better frame of mind and have more of an expectation to win. I think in that half, a little bit of the nerves I spoke to were kind of looking up and going, holy cow, we're up by 21. Like, what now?
Right,
not like we're up by 21, let's go to 31, or whatever. It was like, and so, Whitman's a great team. They're a champion. A lot of guys in that team have won a lot of games and championships, and they're going to keep fighting, and they play very, very hard. And, they did a great job of not giving up. And, it didn't surprise me. We were just fortunate enough to kind of, figure out that we could kind of just play to win down the stretch, and made just enough plays at the right time to close that one out.
Yeah. Well, despite the offensive frustrations, you guys never stopped fighting. You held Whitman to 27% shooting in that half. You scored 22 points off turnovers for the game. The defense has just totally been on another level the last few weeks of the season, and we certainly saw that this last weekend, now rising to third in the conference in opponent points per game and opponent field goal percentage. Why do you think the defense has been able to come together so well here in the home stretch, and how important is that going to be going into Thursday's game and the rest of the postseason?
Yeah, I thought I could have swore I saw the field goal percentages that we were number one.
I think that was conference.
In conference play. Yeah, which surprised me.
Yeah, sure. Totally. Last few weeks, they've helped a lot.
Surprised me. I didn't expect that, but I had to check it about 4 times. I wasn't sure, but I think there was a combination of things. We did a really good job of contesting shots, and the guys just flew around. We were flying around the court everywhere. We were recovering with great energy. The rebound statistics were partially skewed because there were so many misses.
Right.
But we also need to do a better job. So, and they did a great job of hustling and tracking down rebounds, and that's a credit to Whitman. But our guys dug deep. That was a real gutsy effort. No question about that, and one we hope to build on this Thursday.
Yeah, and so looking at Thursday, this will be the third meeting of the season, obviously, between Linfield and Whitman. How does this change things as far as game planning goes now that both you and Coach Bridgeland and all your players have seen each other twice this season, a rarity at this level?
Not much. I mean, both of our teams, I think, are just trying to put ourselves, mentally, physically, and emotionally in the best state to go and compete. There's not a lot you can do in terms of alterations or et cetera. I mean, I think you keep trying to learn and be deep, get a little further along in your the things that you can be good at. But, I think in this time frame and where we are at this point of the season, it's just trying to get better at who we are.
Definitely. The Blues return for the rubber match this season. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. You won't want to miss it in Ted Wilson Gymnasium. If you can't make it, we will have live coverage on the LSN. Coach, again, congratulations on an incredible regular season. Good luck in the postseason, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Joe. Going to be a great week.
It is.